Premier Doug Ford, I haven't had a one-on-one with you since the day after you were elected.
I know. Jeez, I miss you.
Somehow I doubt that.
Yeah, that's all good.
Good evening. A rare one-on-one interview with the Premier today on the very day that the province's fiscal watchdog announces the government is going to have to reduce spending to record lows and cut $6 billion more in order to balance the books as promised within 4 years. I'll have more on what the Premier has to say about that, but first, here are more details from the Financial Accountability Office. They predict program spending growth will have to remain at 1% over the next 5 years. That's the lowest in 30 years since Mike Harris was Premier. Harris was also the last Conservative Premier in Ontario. According to the Financial Accountability Officer, that means provincial spending on public services will go down by $1,100 per person as a result. And the reduced spending will contribute to weaker economic growth. Is that going to be painful?
Well, I'm glad he approved of our budget, saying it was reasonable and responsible budget, and
well, he didn't quite say that. He's pointing out, though, that there's going to be a lot of cuts.
Well, he pointed out that we're on the right path. That we have to find efficiencies to make sure Ontario is sustainable, the financial shape of our province, because right now we inherited a $15 billion deficit, a $347 billion debt, the largest sub-sovereign debt in the world.
Did you sell voters a bit of a false bill of goods when you were campaigning? Because you were saying you could find efficiencies. You made it sound like it wasn't going to hurt that badly, and that there wouldn't be job losses.
No, there hasn't been.
Well, but autism therapists, for example, are losing their jobs in droves, right?
Let's go back. There hasn't not frontline worker has been laid off. No teacher's going to lose their job.
What jobs are being eliminated?
Well, again, no teacher's going to be losing their jobs, and no frontline.
But did you have a conversation with Mayor Tory and say, before you table the budget, this is what you have to cut?
Well, we told him that we need his cooperation. We're uploading billions of dollars on our backs. We need to partner. Now, keep in mind, 92% of all money from the province goes to our partners, municipalities, colleges, universities, and hospitals. And they need to show some support.
But you have 28 mayors who have all signed a letter, including John Tory, saying these are cuts by stealth.
Well, that's 28 mayors that we give money to. I didn't hear a word from John Tory when we're giving them billions of dollars. Get with the times. We're handing them money over. Find 1%, 2% savings.
Now, over the past few months, I've asked repeatedly for a one-on-one interview with the Premier and was always declined. Maybe I got it today because Doug Ford's been taking a beating in recent polls, and perhaps he wants to get his message out. Do you think you're losing the war in getting your message out properly to voters? I know yesterday you said, I don't believe polls because the only one that counts is Election Day, but 3 polls have now come out suggesting that you're slipping. You've been booed twice, which must be really embarrassing when you're on stage.
You love saying that.
I don't love saying that. I think it would be so mortifying.
So the last poll was a union poll. The other was tied in, so I'll put out a poll that actually we put out in early January. No one would take, that we were doing very well. My polls, when I go in the back of factories, when I go in offices, and people are telling me, Doug, keep going.
Are you having fun? I mean, people either love you or love to hate you. It seems like there's no in between.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I love it because I'm energized. We are making a change here in Ontario. We are going to have the most prosperous province anywhere in the country. We're well on our way. Our province is thriving economically right now. It's booming. We don't have enough people to fill the jobs. It's all because of our policies.
Now, in response to the fiscal watchdog's predictions today, the NDP are warning that people don't want tax cuts at the expense of services, and the Green Party, Mike Schreiner, the leader, he predicts people are going to be even more upset about these predicted $6 billion in cuts than they already are now. As for the Liberals, well, they didn't have anyone at the announcement at all.